We all know the history of slavery in America. Now, Nikki Haley is running for president, and she got out and she made a very outlandish remark and statements, which got a lot of people up in a frenzy. And one of the statements she made was that America is not a racist country. Let's take a listen. She had an interview with a reporter on CNN.
I want to ask you about a comment you made earlier this week. You said that America has, quote, never been a racist country, unquote. Protections for the institution of slavery were written into the U.S. Constitution. The White House was built with slave labor. Your home state of South Carolina seceded from the Union, fought a war to defend the enslavement of black people. I understand you don't think America is a racist country now, but we're here at a college. Do you really think as a historical matter, America has never been a racist country?
I mean, think about what you're saying. First of all, I will tell you, when you look at, the Declaration of Independence, it was that, men are created equal with unalienable rights, right? That was what we all knew. But what I look at it as is I was a brown girl that grew up in a small rural town. We had plenty of racism that we had to deal with. But my parents never said we lived in a racist country. And I'm so thankful they didn't. Because for every brown and black child out there, if you tell them they live or were born in a racist country, you're immediately telling them they don't have a chance. And my parents would always say, you may have challenges. And yes, there will be people who are racist. But that doesn't define what you can do in this country. And so I think it's important that we tell all kids that, look, America is not perfect. We have our stains. We know that. But our goal should always be to make today better than yesterday. It's hugely important. And that's the problem I have is we have too many people with this national self-loathing. It is killing our country.
Is it really national self-loathing, or is it history? Because by denying that the country is a racist country is denying the history of the country. Let's continue.
We have got to go back to loving America. We are blessed because that little brown girl in that small rural town in South Carolina, she grew up to become the first female minority governor in history. She then went on to be UN ambassador, and now she's running for president of the United States. I want every brown and black child to see that and say, no, I don't live in a country that was formed on racism. I live in a country where they wanted all people to be equal.
Well, that's the ideal, isn't it? That you would love to believe that America has equal opportunity for all, but that's not the reality. The reality is this country was based and built on racism, because I say that because back when the Declaration of Independence was being written, black people were not included in that, black and brown people. They were not even considered 100% humans when it comes to voting. And a matter of fact, black people could not vote back then because they were enslaved, being worked for free. So obviously, at that time, men were not looked at as equal nor free. The language of all men were created equal was very subjective. It pertains solely to those who were writing the Declaration of Independence, their nationality. Those were the ones they considered equal under the Declaration of Independence. Drop your comments. I'd like to know what you think on this matter. And as you come onto the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you.
They wanted all people to be equal and to make sure that they had life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, but just to, because I was a history major in New Hampshire, you're talking about the ideals of America. Mm-hmm. But America was founded institutionally
on slavery,
on many racist precepts, including slavery.
Yes.
But when you look, it said all men are created equal. I think the intent was to do the right thing. Now, did they have to go fix it along the way? Yes, but I don't think the intent was ever that we were going to be a racist country. The intent was everybody was going to be created equally.
That is where I think Nikki Haley is losing it, because she's looking at the statement, all men are created equally, but she's not looking at the broader picture that only applied to one group. It did not apply to the brown and black people.
And as we went through time, they fixed the things that were not.
I'm sorry to say, Nikki Haley is speaking on idealism, and the things that she's talking about that were fixed were never fixed. Sure, we have improved and we've come some ways along the road, but we still have not arrived. And may I say that the gains that black and brown people have made in the history in this country that we call America was never given. It was always fought hard for.
All men are created equal. They made sure women became equal too. All of these things happen over time. But I refuse to believe that the premise of when they formed our country was based on the fact that it was a racist country to start with. I refuse to believe that. I have to know in my heart and in everybody's heart that we live in the best country in the world, and we are a work in progress, and we've got a long way to go to fix all of our little kinks. But I truly believe our founding fathers had the best of intentions when they started, and we've...
So, if the founding fathers had the best of intentions when they started, why some of them had slaves that were mistreated, were beaten, were made to work for free, and they were the founding fathers? So obviously all men were created equal did not apply to the slaves.
We fixed it along the way, and we should always look at it that way.
Did they really fix it along the way, or did minority groups have to fight to get the smallest amounts of rights? The CNN reporter said he was a historian. He didn't bother to debate her because he saw it would have been futile, because she's steadfast in her belief that this country was not built on racism. And this country is a non-racist country. But that just goes to show people from different national origins will experience a country as either positive or negative. For black people, it was not so positive. But however, for other ethnicities, it might have been a little more pleasing. So Nikki Haley is caught up in that one statement, and that's going to cost her whatever chance she has at the presidency.
That America has, quote, never been a racist country, unquote. Protections for the institution of slavery were written into the U.S. Constitution. The White House was built with slave labor. Your home state of South Carolina seceded from the Union, fought a war to defend the enslavement of black people. I understand you don't think America is a racist country now, but we're here at a college. Do you really think as a historical matter, America has never been a racist country?
Because you cannot say that America is not a racist country based on its history. Everyone can concur that yes, it is a racist country, and yes, it was based and built on racism. On that note, I'm over now. Drop your comments. I'd like to know what you think about this new debate with Nikki Haley. Now, she's supposed to be running for the presidency. Is this the kind of president we want in power? So Nikki Haley said her parents never told her she lived in a racist country. But sometimes you don't have to be told something. Observation and seeing is believing, as they say. You can see that you're in a racist country when certain things are in place. Like you don't have a right to vote. You can't go to any and every counter, maybe the movies, live in certain neighborhoods, etc. That's a clear sign that you're living in a racist country. If across the board, across the state, across the United States, everything was all about segregating people. So Nikki Haley says her parents never told her that she lived in a racist country. And she's so thankful for it today because she don't believe she lives in a racist country. She believes that America has afforded the opportunities for all. This is what I'm gathering from this conversation she was having with this CNN reporter. And I believe it's an idealism. It's an idealism that she has. It is not fact-based and it's not truth-based. Oh, you can speak ideally about a subject matter, but it doesn't make it true. It does not make it the absolute fact. On that note, I'm over and out. I'd love to know what you all think. Drop your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like bell before you leave the page, and also subscribe. Thank you for watching.